Hey guys, and welcome to the definitive mod installing guide. If you watch this video, you will no longer have trouble installing any of the mods you'll see in my videos, so let's get started. First up, let's gather what we'll need to do all this modification. Check for links in the description of this video. Yep, right down there. Yes, take your mouse and scroll down, click right there. There you'll find Locastan's mod pack link and click it. It should automatically open and offer you to download the mod pack, so yeah, save the file and check in the description again. There's another link to the GME, which is the generic mod enabler. This one will make this mod business a lot easier. Click the link and you'll go to Mediafire. Click this lovely button and you've now got 2 files needed to make the first modifications in the game. Head on to your root World of Tanks folder. What's the root folder of World of Tanks, you say? Well, hopefully you got a games folder like this, and inside that is your World of Tanks folder. Now click on that folder and you're now in your World of Tanks root folder. Drop your mod enabler here and double click the mod enabler. Now one of 2 things will happen. Either a mods folder will appear in front of your very eyes like magic, or you'll be confronted by this message box. If you got the magic show, excellent. If not, just click OK and you're good to go. Now we have the mods folder. Enter the folder and go fetch your mod pack rare file we downloaded earlier. From here we just right click the rare file and select extract here. Your RAR file will now extract and leave you with this. These are all mod folders. Don't worry, we won't be looking at any of these more than this. So go back to your World of Tanks root folder and open the mod enabler. You'll be greeted by this menu. On the left, you can see all the mods we just put in the mods folder. Remember the thing we just did? Phew, glad you do. If not, you'd need some help curing that Alzheimer. But Highflyer, what does these mods do? Could you explain what each of these mods do? Sure I can, Timmy. But let's first learn how to install them. After that, I'll explain in depth what each mod will do. Click on any of the mods you want to have installed by holding down Ctrl and selecting them individually, or just hold down Shift and select them all if you want them all. When you've selected the ones you want, click this top button and the transfer process will begin. A warning will pop up once in a while, but just click yes, as the overriding process is necessary for the mods to be installed properly. And now you've installed your mods. Pretty darn simple, eh? But let's go back to the part where you wanted to know what these mods do. As you can see here, it's a vanilla screen of World of Tanks. Now let's try and switch that out with a modded picture of World of Tanks. Big difference, eh? You can see the minimap has changed and there's a reload timer in the middle, and we have some stuff all around the place. Let's get to explaining them. Let's just start from the top of the list and go downwards. We start out with the contour icons, because the CMSG plus stats is something that is in your garage, and I'll show that in just a second. Well, the contour icons is the icons for the tanks. As you can see on the left and on the right, all tanks now have new icons. These icons are also defined on top of every single tank on the battlefield. As you can see, we have a Wolverine in the back there, a Sherman and M7. These can be a little tough to spot on the battlefield as the battle is raging on, and a lot of tanks are sitting very close to each other. So I don't play with this mod because I like to not be confused. Well, next up we have damage panel center HP left, and we're going to switch screenshot just so you guys can see exactly what I mean. The panel where the HP is shown has been changed. It is now transparent and you can see when you've taken damage and at what time, and of course the amount of damage, so you can actually predict which tanks hit you if you got hit by someone who was invisible in a bush. As you take more and more damage, the more numbers will be added to this list of damage. We move back to the previous screenshot to show off the in-game clock. Well, it just shows the in-game clock, date and weekday. This mod also adds the angle meter, which you can see down in the middle of the screen right there. It's pretty useful if you want to know if you're angling at a perfect angle towards your enemies, but besides that, there's no real point for it. Therefore you won't ever see me using it. The clock is also added to the garage, as you can see, alongside the date and the weekday. We then move on to the garage 2-road carousel. by Locastan, and as you can see at the bottom there, there's no longer a single line of tanks. There's now 2 rows, and this will help you get through your tanks a lot faster if you can bear with them being this small. I can, and I really think this mod is a great mod. And we're going a little bit closer to take a look at the CMSG plus stats mod, which changes the colors of every text in the garage. And you'll also have a very nice stat box at the bottom, showing you wins per battle, average XP and total credits earned. So you will know exactly what you've done today if you have this mod installed. Minimap 2nd Gen adds a lot of useful stuff to the minimap. Things like a line which points in the direction your turret is looking, so you'll know if you're looking in the right direction. On top of your tank is a small white bubble. This is the 50-meter proximity scouting circle. If any enemy gets inside this little bubble, they'll get spotted. Through buildings, through cover, even through bushes. A much larger orange circle is having fun out there. This is your spotting distance. This is especially helpful if you're in a scout tank. It'll let you know exactly how far you can spot the enemies, so you'll have an easy time finding perfect bushes to sit in, never going in too far when you think you aren't close enough to spot the enemies from afar. There's also this red square. This is how far away you can spot tanks. Not spot as in spot, but if allies are spotting enemies for you from a longer distance and they are outside this red line, you won't be able to see them. So move in closer to the enemy until they're within this red box and you'll be able to spot them. We move on to the XVM setup, which will add something like this. As we can see, hits. You have hit something 3 times and done 122 damage. The last damage that you dealt was 40. And beneath that you'll see who you damaged and how many times you've hit them. It also adds the tier points for every single vehicle in the game. So if you platoon with people and they pick a tank you can't really remember the tier of, XVM setup will show you. The XVM setup also does a few other things which I actually can't remember right now, and if I can't remember them then they're probably not that important. And that is all I use the XVM setup for. I don't use it to see the stats and win ratios of other players because I like to think that I need to save this team every single time. Not of big-headedness, but you know, you can only trust yourself. The max zoom mod just gives you exactly what the name implies. It'll let you zoom out a lot more than you're used to, and it's really great. The remove bloom one is just removing some graphical stuff, so let's skip that one. Scope shadow remove removes the scope shadow, which, well, is just there to annoy you really. So let's remove that one with this mod. The silent battle timer just removes the ticking sound of the clock counting down before the battle starts. And then we have timer crosshairs ST light, which is, as you can see, a counter which shows exactly how long your reload speed is. As you can see here, it is the MX5100 and it has a 50.64 second reload. So that's the amount of time you'll have to wait before you'll be able to fight. This is a great feature and I really like being able to tell how long I have to wait before I can go out there and fight again. The last mod is the wagon visibility mod, which, as you can see, shows you where the wagons are more clearly. This is just a mod I've chosen to install, since sometimes when I'm in a fast tank I can't really keep track of where the wagons are and I crash into them. So it's just a little heads up, wagon coming. I hope this guide helped you guys, and as always the links are always in the description, so just take a look down there if you're missing any of the files, and then just go ahead and do what I just showed you. If you have any questions you can send them to question@TheRiisingSun.com and I'll read them and reply with every single question you might have. So I hope you guys will have a lot of modding fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield.